the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast. We are powered by Matchday Live. My name is Joel Osborne. I'm joined by my podcast pal, Sam Hardy.
Yo,
Sam, how's it going?
What's up, Joel? Doing well, my man. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good, man. We're playoff time.
Oh, can you believe it?
The regular season has finally come to an end. We've just finished a 12-game month, 12 games in 27 days, and now we go straight to the playoffs, baby.
Baby, we are buzzing for the playoffs. Jolly, we have ended up with the wonderful Leicester in the playoffs. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I like the matchup. I'd rather Leicester than London. So obviously we had the game on Sunday. That was going to determine who finished again, if it was going to play Leicester, who was going to play London. I would rather Flyers face Leicester. I think the teams match up a lot better.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited about the playoffs. We have beaten Leicester this season, so promising sign. Taking them to overtime this season as well. So we've got to put together a massive 40-minute performance at home to take a result on the road, because it's 2 legs aggregate score. We love aggregate score. First of all, we've got to apologise for not releasing an episode last week, because it turns out having 4 games in 6 days does not allow us enough time to get here in the studio. So, yeah, sorry you didn't get an episode last week, but you've missed a lot since the last time we recorded a podcast, because not only have we qualified for the playoffs, we also finished 7th in dramatic fashion, because on Sunday we took Surrey 89ers to double overtime after trailing by as many as 17 points to come out on top. What a crazy game this was.
Can you not? This always happens, Joel. The best games that ever happened. The Manchester Giants at the time comeback with the Mike Miller turnaround in the block.
Yeah.
We had a London Lions win last 2 seasons ago, VJ King, where Jelani had that really dramatic crossover and then the floater over the top that was the best piece of cinematography we've done in Bristol Flyers. Missed that game. We then have double overtime game events flipping Surrey, and I missed that one too, Jolie.
Are you going to be there on Friday for Leicester?
Yes, I will be there on Friday.
Oh, we're going to lose then. We got producer Dan with us as always. Dan, how's it going?
Oh, I'm okay. I've just about recovered after Sunday.
Yes.
The best, worst game I've ever seen.
Go on. Do you mean because it was bad to begin with and then we turned it on at the end?
Absolutely.
You were working that game, weren't you?
I was indeed. We all got choked up in the truck when Evan finished the game, and I'm really happy.
That was a great interview.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Unreal. We were. I was being laughed at because what I was doing on Sunday is I had to host a 24-person box at Wembley versus Nottingham Forest versus Man City, which was as part of my other job, which was lovely. I had a lot of fun, and people in the box were laughing at me because that was on, and we were sat outside watching a game, and I had the Bristol Flyers on my phone in front of me, and I was watching that, and they're like, "We're here at Wembley watching a massive FA Cup semi-final, and you're watching the Bristol Flyers." I was like, "Yes, boys, here we go."
Yeah. Hey, you have to do it. It's a massive game. Dan, I was surprised you didn't run out of the truck jumping around Wise Campus like you did down pitchside Ashley Gate.
I managed to keep my cool. And mostly, I did hurt my hand. I did slam the desk a couple of times, both in joy and anger at different points. But yeah, it was a great game. Really, really enjoyable.
And
I love that.
I think it came perfect timing because obviously not only did that win secure us 7th, but sometimes you just need an emotional game like that can give you all the momentum you need going into the playoffs. And we've seen it in sport so many times that when a team goes through such an emotional game or such a late winner or something, it just gives them the push that they need to go on a run. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that could be what we need, right? A big win going into playoffs, that just gives us all the momentum going into Leicester.
I'm absolutely buzzing about this weekend. And it's weird because it's bank holiday weekend. We got the Friday night game and then we got the Sunday afternoon game. The Monday afternoon game.
Yeah, so just for the listener, the first leg of the quarterfinals is this Friday. Leicester Riders, 7:30 p.m. Tickets are selling fast for that game.
How are they selling, Joe?
Like hotcakes. I heard they're selling like hotcakes. So get your tickets for that one right now at bristolflyers.co.uk. The second leg is on bank holiday Monday. It's a 1:30 p.m. tip-off at the Mattioli Arena.
Flipping it. Are you going out for that, Jolie?
I will be there.
I will be there too.
Are you coming?
Well, I need to work it all out, but I think me, Steve, Hells and Jimbo are going to drive up together if we can make it happen.
I love that. So get your tickets. You can get tickets for the away leg as well, to be fair. They're on sale right now. You can go to Leicester Riders' website. They sell them directly through there. So yeah, support the lads in the playoff push, and hopefully our season can go on for one more week.
One more week.
That's what we need. Do get your tickets for playoffs because it's going to be super exciting. It's what everything's been building up for. Coming up on this week's show, we'll be rounding up Sunday's double overtime thriller against the Surrey 89ers. The Sunday 89ers? We'll have a little chat about the upcoming playoffs. Plus, we've got a special feature coming up for you as we get Flyers captain Raphell Thomas-Edwards into the same room as Jake Heenan of the Bristol Bears. We take the podcast down to Burra Bristol, which is Jake's brand new coffee shop. The one in Clifton Village, the one he's just opened as well. We talk about a bunch of things, including the challenges of running their own businesses alongside professional careers and the transition from being a professional athlete into going out into the working world. We actually recorded this already, haven't we, Sam, down at Burra?
It was so fun. I mean, Jake Heenan is such a legend, isn't he?
He is.
He's so smart, but I love the way he talks about like the sport linked to business. He's just a great guy to know. So yeah.
So a bit of context for the listener. We had Jake on the podcast last season. Burra are one of our partners for Bristol Flyers. They a coffee shop. They got 3 locations now in Bristol. They sort of started from the pandemic back in 2021. They used to serve coffees out of a hatch back when that was all you could pretty much do was go out and get coffee or go for your daily walk. And now they've got the location on North Street. They've got the location in Redland, and also they've just opened this new branch in Clifton, which is where we record the podcast. Jake's a massive basketball fan. Of course, he plays for the Bears, but he's been down to a number of games. He's done coffee giveaways at Flyers games as well. And it's just great when we can get 2 athletes from 2 different sports in the same room together. Both of them are very similar ages, both of them towards the twilight years of their playing careers, and both of them are starting to think about what comes next after their basketball and rugby careers. So it's a great chat. Do stick around. Afterwards, we'll talk about the playoffs a little bit. But without further ado, Sam, I think we should get to the chat. What do you reckon?
Let's get to the chat.
Here is this week's interview down at Burra Bristol with Raphell Thomas-Edwards and Jake Heenan.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
What's up, Flyers fans? This is the part of the podcast where we tell you all about our brand new podcast sponsor, Matchday Live. So Matchday Live is essentially a Netflix-style OTT platform that sporting clubs and organisations can monetize their own content and bring fans closer to the action. They help sporting teams and organisations become the broadcaster with live streaming and on-demand solution tailored to the world of sports. Deeper insights, richer monetization capabilities, and active support to ensure your fans are never in the dark. We're actually working with Matchday Live right now, Sam, to build a brand new Bristol Flyers TV platform that we hopefully be coming next season. But it's not just the Flyers that Matchday Live are working with, because they work with a whole bunch of other sporting teams and organisations, including Bristol City, Chesterfield FC, and our good friends at the Bristol Pitbulls Ice Hockey Club. So if you want to find more about how you can enhance your content with your own OTT platform, courtesy of Matchday Live, you can reach out to their sales team, sales@matchdaymediagroup.com. That's sales@matchdaymediagroup.com.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast, where we've made it down to our partners at Burra Bristol. In their brand new coffee shop in Clifton Village. We're very excited to be joined by Flyers captain Raphell Thomas-Edwards, plus the owner of Burra Bristol, Jake Heenan, and the Bristol Bears. Fellas, welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for letting us come down here. It's the new Clifton store now with Burra.
Yeah, well, look, the important thing is we all made it here. Raph's done the tour of Burra and Bristol. Been to all 3 now in the last half hour. So we, that's the important thing. We all made it here.
Yeah, Raph arrived late for the podcast listener. You went to the wrong Burra, Raph.
No, see what happened? I put in Burra. I obviously forgot that there's so many now. That it was going the wrong way, and now we've come to the new one, and I'm here. So
Raph, you're making a name for yourself, mate. We remember when we were doing the Loyal to the Game podcast in the studio, and you didn't turn up to that because you were running late, and here we are now. It's a bad name you're building up here, mate.
Hey, but we can change it. Right now, we'll get the right perspective in. We'll tell them what I was doing. I'm doing the right things. Maybe I stretched myself too thin, but my heart's in the right place.
Club captain setting a good example here. But we appreciate you guys getting everyone together, because it's tough to get everyone together all at the same place in the same time. But
Jake, year since the last one, that's gone quick, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, it has. It wasn't the plan last time we spoke to be here in Clifton with another site, but it's look, opportunity came up. The guys are doing a great job, and we jumped on it. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you would have mentioned, but you literally had no plan this time last year to be here.
We didn't have a plan to be here before we were here, kind of thing. So it was very site came up, loved it, neighbourhood we wanted to be a part of, and jumped on it and fortunate enough to get it turned around and get open. So
when did you know it was happening versus when you got it open, and here we are now?
So we would have been sort of September, October. We would have sort of agreed to take the premises, and then it was we were getting it at the end of January. Sort of let the previous guys work through Christmas, and it took us a month and a half to turn it around, turn it into Burra, and away you go. So.
That's amazing.
Do you find? Sorry, Joel's written loads of notes, and I've literally not read them. I've
you go, mate. You go. We always sidetrack. It's great.
I reckon that you had loads of other things to say before this, but here we go. Do you find you're on number 3 right now?
Yeah.
Have you found that like opening 3 versus opening 1 has been significantly easier, or has it still had its challenges and whatnot?
Oh, like absolutely easier. Like the first time around, you have no idea what you're doing, and I'd like to say I have an idea what I'm doing now, but it's you have to just hook into it, and you make mistakes. And the big one is like where you spend money, where you don't spend money, and your effort and your time and that kind of thing. So they're getting easier. By the time we open a few more, maybe we'll have it.
For the listener who is a long-term listener, last year we had Jake make us coffees, and the artwork was, I'd say, subpar, and he made me and Joel both a coffee today, and I think that you did a great job, mate. Okay, the beautiful art, you've been working on it, I appreciate that.
Yeah, a better job anyway, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Talk to us about the launch event, because you had the launch event down here to open the Clifton store, and Raph, you actually came down to that as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it was a year ago we had the podcast. To be able to keep supporting, I know it's maybe a step out of Bristol Flyers family, but you're still so close to everything, and Bristol Sport is such a community that, I felt like it was important for me to come down. And the line was crazy. Like, it was people everywhere. I mean, it's what you would expect. So, I felt like it was successful for you, but, it was enjoyable just to see, open a new spot and to turn it around in a month and to have that kind of success straight away, like, for an open event is like, kudos to you. That's amazing, man.
Oh, jeez, you're a gent.
Because you guys were handing out free coffees that day, weren't you? For the launch day. How many coffees did you actually hand out in that single day? Do you reckon?
Yeah, so we did over 400 on the day.
Flipping heck.
I think we gave away 270, 280 of those in the morning. So
wow.
It was busy. It was bumper to bumper. We had 2 power cuts, a few angry old ladies because it was taking too long. But it was, it was fun. It was that's what it was about: getting the community out, having yarns, getting together, making a go of it. Like, that's what hospitality is, So it was good fun.
And it's not worth doing unless there's a couple of angry old ladies to sort of put you in your place, right?
Mate, imagine how boring that would be if everyone was happy with us. Yeah. So, no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. And for those that didn't listen to the podcast we did with you last year, talk to us about the journey that you guys have been on as a business, because it started 2021 straight out of the pandemic. You guys were serving coffees out of a hatch, and now here we are 3 stores later. It's the growth has been exponential, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, we've been really lucky on a number of fronts. Probably most so with the people we have and the people in the business and their ability to sort of drive it forward. We had this idea that we wanted to do a cafe and keep it simple and but do a really good job of our service and our food and just sort of try and elevate that cafe experience. So we've kind of, a lot like sport, we've chipped away at it and we get it wrong and we go again, So it's it's been an enjoyable process. It's been a difficult one at times, but fortunate enough to have had a few good breaks and enough good people to sort of help us get by.
I love your the brand that you've created is beautiful, because I could walk into any of the 3 boroughs and I would know it's a borough. Obviously it says it, but like as in the feeling of it. But if you look at them, like they're all so unique in their own way, aren't they?
Yeah, and part of it is like we have one team. So we don't have 3 different teams, 3 different sites. We've got one team who run all 3 sites. So a lot like like a sports team and like my career, it's that this is how we do things. And we're all on the same page and we're all working together to achieve the same thing. You know, we don't have almost subsections of that. So I think that's been a big part of being able to deliver site on site.
Wait, so you have people? So you don't have anyone, or I might be wrong here, but who just only will work in one of the sites? They all transfer between all of them.
Yeah.
And you have that is crazy. How do you manage the schedule, or is that done?
Oh, you'll have to ask my wife, mate. I have no idea. Geez, she manages it over the course of about 3 hours every Monday. But mate, it takes. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. You know that, and we've got a lot of young people, so we're constantly trying to make sure if people need holidays. Next week we're short about 7 shifts, but that's fine because it's important that young people can get out and do stuff. So a bit more effort on our part, but we feel that we get a lot more back out of it,
I actually love that because it means you can go to your favourite one or a different one. You might have the same staff, That's a really good... I've never heard of that before, and especially in this industry.
Yeah, no, it's working. It's like everything. We continue to sort of look at what we do and adapt and try and grow it and do it better, but this is what we found is working best for us at this point in time. So that's it's good. It's enjoyable.
And you guys are in your second year of partnership now with the Flyers as a whole.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it? Because we did the video earlier this season where we had a little crossover video of you guys getting blocked by Damon Robinson and Kendall Lewis.
I'm going to stop you there. You guys was not me, guy. It was still haven't got my 10-day contract, Joel. We spoke about that last time. Actually had a cracking game for the Bristol Sport, the charity tournament last year as well. Didn't get called back. Might have to have a word with Sam there, Raph. So it's going well. It's going well. No, mate, I'm loving it. We've look, obviously struck up a great relationship with the team, and even managed to convince Raph to come around for dinner a couple of times. So look, it's good, and it's what sport and hospitality, it's what it's all about. It's about supporting each other and relationships, So.
I love that. And Raph, that's great because Jake was saying off air before we start recording that you guys are actually chatting now because of us introducing you guys almost through this partnership. But you guys are now just chatting in your spare time, staying in touch, away from the court, away from the pitch, right?
Yeah. I bother him every now and then. Like I said at the beginning, part of the community. Sometimes it seems like just Flyers or it seems like just Bears, but Bristol is very interconnected. I feel like you can get to anybody in 1 or 2 people. So to be able to be around good people that think in the same way or got the same thought processes and good hearts, I feel like it's important to me. So to be able to kind of use the sport that I'm playing and make a connection through you would have spoken to Steve about the partnership, and then I wouldn't have been involved in it. But then I think, oh man, to be connected in that sense has been amazing. So, and like I said before, anything I can do to help you, 100%.
10-day contract.
There we go.
I don't know about that one, but we'll see it.
I would love that. Can we sort that? We should sort that 100%.
Just the honorary,
Just put him in there.
just sit on the bench, just there, just in case.
Cheer.
You could throw him
No, you
in.
do.
Sit on the bench. Get me out there, mate.
Like in ice hockey where you've got the people that come on just to fight. We'll get Jake to come on just to smash
Yeah, you
people
got
up.
5 fouls to use, mate.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that, but apparently refs already got that role covered. What was that, 8 minutes, 5 fouls, wasn't
Hey,
it?
I've had worse. I've literally had worse. When I was in college, 5 minutes. Sometime last summer, another 7 minutes. It's just I'm a very strong person. Sometimes the ref, they're not used to it, so that's what it is.
They can't be easy.
I can teach you. Get the 10 days in there. But yeah, I think it's I'm a bit bigger than most. So.
Yeah.
Raph just saving his body for the playoffs because we've just gone through 12 games in 27 days or something like that. So he's like, oh yeah, I got 5 fouls. Let's just use them in the final game of the regular season. Let's see myself and Leicester next week, right?
Save those old knees. Yeah.
See, in my old days, I'm a bit more strategic. That's it. I got to get the team going, so they got going. We won, so job well done, I guess.
Yeah. Jake, you went down to the London game this season, right?
Yeah.
That was the one where I think we were down by 20 points in the first quarter, and then the guys rallied back. I think they fell short in the end, right? But that was one of the craziest games of the season that you've been to this season.
Yeah, that was wild. It was very, very Bristol. It was something that we could have done. Do you know what I mean? At Bristol Bears, it was very entertaining for the neutral. And unfortunate that unfortunate we didn't get the result, but entertaining.
Yeah, well, at the time of recording this pod, actually, we are for just finishing 12 games in 27 days. And I don't think, well, you wouldn't get that in rugby, would you? Like in terms of the schedule.
I can barely play 2 in 14 days. 12 and 27. No. We've had a couple of where we've gone sort of match and then 2 matches the following weekend. It's all hands on deck, but nothing like that.
How you find it, Raph? Are you like, because I don't think we've had a schedule like this since. Well, I don't think we ever have a schedule like this going into playoff time. No. It's just because all the delays and the postponements that have had to bunch those games together like in April, and then literally you're going straight into playoffs. You do that with rugby, is right? You don't like once your season's over, you have a bit of a break between then and playoffs. Is that right, or do you go straight into it like that?
We roll straight into it this year. It all depends with like we dip in and out of Europe. You know, so if you're not in European playoffs, then you'll have those weeks off. So back end of our season, we're the opposite. We'll have 1-2 games a month, some months, you know what I mean? So it's actually a nice time to let our bodies sort of rest a little bit and sort of try and peak for the right end of the season.
We'll give congratulations in order for you as well, by the way, because obviously it was announced, what was it, like last month now, I think, that after 7 years you're going to be moving on from the Bears this summer. Yeah,
all good things, all good things. Look, it's I've been so fortunate with my time here and love my rugby here, and an opportunity to sort of go home and play a bit of rugby where it started for me back in Northern, Whangarei, New Zealand. So really excited, take the family home, spend a bit of time with family, play some rugby back there, try and give back to the community I grew up in, and then kind of on with life from there.
Are you literally going to be living right near where your family is?
Yeah, like near but far enough away as well. You know what I mean? That whole arm's length thing.
We get it.
There, yeah.
So how does that work? Is it like a summer gig then, or a winter gig, I guess, out there?
Yeah, winter gig there. So it's sort of the seasons alternates with Super Rugby and the provincial stuff. So
you just went quite similar as well, right? You played in Australia, or you coached in Australia out there, and they have their seasons through the winter, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of flipped. So there's summer, so I've been winter for a long time, right? But we played all the way through. It is, I get to play basketball all year round, or I get to play my sport all year round. So I think it's an enjoyable experience when you're thinking back on it. It's tough on the body, but sports is tough on the body. So I think it's just one of those things. But it was an enjoyable experience. You get to see somewhere different, play a bit different, especially being here for a couple of years. Like, you're probably gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. And like sometimes you just a change of scenery, new people, new challenge. Like it's we're really excited for it.
So then after the summer is over, then or this summer when you finish that spell in New Zealand, what does it look like after then? You're going straight into the working world, I suppose, with the businesses, right? Yeah.
Well, look, we'll come back to Bristol. Bristol's home for us now, and it's kind of where I've all my mates are and my family and that. So we'll look to head back to Bristol afterwards and get on with the cafes and kind of see what life has in store. Which is again similar, new challenge, very exciting.
Well, with the trajectory of this place, you'll have 19 new places open then.
I've had too much time on my hands, maybe. But I'll have to find something to do anyway. But that'd be good.
I love that. I love the whole and we speak about it quite a lot on the show, don't we? In terms of what players.
I don't know yet.
in terms of like what athletes do after they finish their playing career. Yeah. But it's tough, isn't it? Yeah. Look at the notes.
I can't read. I told you this.
But it's like what do athletes do after they finish their playing careers? And actually, having a playing career, it's a 10-year career, and then what comes after that? But you guys are both like prime examples of athletes within our Bristol Sport group that are actively doing stuff whilst they're still playing the back end of their playing careers to put the footprints in place to then have a successful career off the court, off the pitch.
I mean, that's why I'm late all the time doing a lot of stuff. But no, I think I've spoken to Jake about it. Sometimes what you learn in sports and how you are and who you become while playing, like once you stop physically, maybe your body can't take it anymore. Your mind is still working, and you can still use that to push you to do other things. I think the gap in between, where some people kind of struggle, and I've kind of struggled with it at times, is really trying to make that shift over, because it is a little bit different. But I think it's just one of those things that you learn and you grow, and, you ask people, and I think you figure it out.
Do you guys chat to younger players on your teams? Because obviously when for us, we're a very young team for Flyers. We've got a lot of rookies on the squad. At the top, when they're playing for the team, they're not thinking about what they're doing after they're finished their playing career. But actually, the reality of it is that you probably one injury away, or from actually thinking about what you're going to do after you finish playing. Are you talking to guys in your squads about that sort of stuff? Is that something you guys chat about off the pitch, off the court?
You say we're not young?
Well, no.
What's younger? Who's talking to me?
No, you're old. You're both old.
Yeah. Oh, I feel it. I can hear my joints in the microphone.
You don't just feel it, mate. You look it too.
That's good. Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, like a 10-year career, that's if you're doing well. You know what I mean? It's a 10-year career in pro sports are good innings now. So, do we talk to boys? Sometimes it's a tough one. You know what I mean? Could I have spoken to 22-year-old Jake who got his first paycheck? Probably not. So it's it's all sort of situation dependent. But I think, and this is where I think this sort of thing and these sorts of relationships and that's so important is just the. Hey, Mike.
Mike Higgins just arrived, by the way. Mike Higgins is here. Team manager just rocked up.
Walk on through, mate. Don't you worry.
Mike walking through. The lads are actually coming for a team meal here. That's why Mike's here, because the lads are actually coming down to Burra for some food, right?
Yeah. No, we'll look after them. But just within sport, I feel like there's quite a lot of support in terms of if you want to go into the corporate world or you want to go into coaching and management, that's quite a natural fit. But in terms of entrepreneurship and business, it's these kind of relationships are so important, because there's nothing there to tell you what to do or tell you what not to do and where to look out for, and sort of how to hedge your bets and make sound business decisions. So these sorts of relationships and working with the right people, I think, is such an important part if that's the route you want to go.
You two are probably above average as well in terms of being early enough to have done some business stuff. I think a lot of people probably aren't thinking about it as early as you guys have thought about it as well, right? You'll see that in your teams. Yeah. Some people start business, I get that. You got your CEVO guys, Harry and Jake and whatnot, but I know there's guys who probably won't wait. They'll wait until the end of their career and go, flip, what am I going to do now? Do you think?
Yeah, I think there is. But to be honest, there's probably a lot of people who want to get into business and are really passionate about entrepreneurship are probably looking at it a bit earlier as well. That's probably the reality, is those guys are probably maybe not thinking that route. I don't know. But yeah, perhaps. But even so, having these relationships so that if and when you need to rely on them, I suppose you can, I guess.
But having the time, I guess, when you're playing, what a training schedule is like for you guys. You're training every day. Where do you actually find the time to, whilst you're playing, to actually sit down and start putting those, all that stuff in place for the future? Because what does a typical day look like for you guys right now when you're training in the morning and then you're doing more stuff in the afternoon? You don't really have much free time at all, right?
Well,
you got that 32 minutes after your 5 pedals.
I got to make time. Yeah, I think about starting it while you're still playing. I just want to kind of get the wheels turning. So when I do finish, then I can put my effort into it. So where I don't have time here and there, a lot of that time is going to come eventually, and then I can kind of go fully into it. In terms of my schedule is very, extreme. I get up pretty early in the morning. I'll usually do work until the gym opens at 6, and then I'll go to the gym and lift, and then I'll...
Wait, you do work until the gym opens at 6? What time are you up?
So I get up at 4, not every single day, but there's a typical day is 4:30. I get up at 4:30. I'll do everything that needs to be done. 6 o'clock I'll go to the weight room, and then between the weight room and then practice at 9:15, 9:30. If I have more work, I'll try and do that then. Then we'll go to practice, which is usually another lift again. Then we'll go straight into practice. Then straight after practice, sometimes it's coaching, sometimes it's back into work. And then that goes until later in the day. If we have an event like this, like today's schedule, it went practice, straight into a photo shoot, straight into an event, straight here. And then we got another event, and then essentially coaching would have been around this time. But I think it's important for me to do this stuff while I have the capability. I mean, I try to have the capability. I'm really pushing it. But, eventually, with more responsibilities, I am a bit behind Jake in terms of wife and kids and stuff. Whose responsibilities are eventually going to come, which is then going to take my time. So let's push it to the max now. So then when those things do come, I'll be as far as I can be until that happens.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's massive. I think it's quite good for like players to listen to like a pod like this as well, where it's like, you know, finding out. Yeah, okay, I'm still playing, but what does life look like in 5-10 years time when you stop playing? I love that sort of stuff.
I'm just surprised that you go to sleep. Like, I don't sleep. I work through the night, and then I'm up at 2 a.m, and I'm raising 17 children, and then I've got. I cannot believe you up at 4:30, man. That is actually crazy.
Yeah, it's
honestly crazy.
Yeah.
Coach has just walked in as well.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? You all right? Well, I think there he is. But before we wrap up this segment, because the lads are literally arriving right now.
The boys
are
Say hello,
here.
gents.
The boys are walking in right now. You're on the podcast right now, fellas. Here they are. Look. Everyone's come to gate crash the pod. What's up, guys? How we doing? How's it going? We all good? Good.
Hey, guys.
Hey, brother.
How's it going, fellas? How's it going? So it's probably a good place for us to sort of start to wrap up this show.
That way, fellas.
But, so the lads are here for a team meal. They're arriving now. Before we let you guys all go off for the end of this segment, just tell us, Jake, with the partnership with Burra, first of all, what does the future now look like for you guys going forward? Obviously, you've got the 3 locations now. You're off to go play away this summer. More locations on the horizon?
No, not at the moment. Look, for us, it's just doing what we do and doing it as well as we can. I think it's almost simplifying our operation, doing it really good. Awesome brunch, awesome coffee, being really positive in our community, and and then look, when we get back, like Raph said, we've got more time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But for now, it's just doing what we do, doing it well.
And a message to the fans on that note, like, you guys, you listen to this, you're involved in this. Why don't we make extra effort to come and use your facilities and pay for food and drink and stuff to help support what we're doing here as well? That'd be, we don't directly say that stuff normally, but I think that's a good sort of mindset to have in this motion.
Sam's card's behind the bar as well, so you can
That's
always
it,
take
there
that
we
up
go.
at any time as well.
Cool. So you'll get half a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And you got the 3 locations. There's the one on North Street, there's the one here in Clifton, and the one in Redland as well. So go check them out if you get a chance. You can follow them on Instagram at Burra Bristol. Is that right?
That's right.
Go check them out on Insta. How many followers are you on now?
10,000.
10,000? Yeah,
Yeah, there's a couple, yeah.
We're catching up on the Flyers account, I tell you. We're like,
Calm it, all right?
calm it down a little bit.
Or you step up, either or.
That as well, yeah. But fellas, that's a good place to us to wrap up this segment of the show. Thanks so much for letting us come down to the coffee shop here in Clifton. Best of luck the rest of your seasons, and Jake, hopefully you can see you at a Flyers game soon when you're back here next season.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Great chat. That was amazing. I love going down to Burra. If you haven't been to Burra, by the way, do go down to Burra because they've got the 3 locations around the city. The coffee is fantastic. It's probably my favourite coffee place in Bristol.
I love how all the players walk in at the end.
Yeah, the players came in because obviously the lads were there. We recorded the podcast before the lads came for a team meal. So just at the end of that chat, everyone comes barging in to say hello. So we get a feature from every player on this week's show. It's great.
I like that.
Right, so it's time for us to get to our usual podcasty bits. It's time for us to get to the news. Plenty of bits to talk about, Sam, but first of all, we have to start by talking about that double overtime win against Surrey 89ers on Sunday. The game had it all.
Go on.
So ignoring what happened on the court, right? Off the court, Gareth calls the 89ers the 69ers on the broadcast. Right? As it's a slip of the tongue. And we joked about it off air before, so, saying don't say 69ers, and he said it. Off the bat, literally in the build up to the programme, live on air, Gareth Till says 69ers.
Did he get any hate for it?
No, I don't know. I've not seen anything online. It's just a slip of the tongue, isn't it? Everyone does it. He was so embarrassed after him, bless him. But I said to him, don't worry, because that's a very minuscule slip of the tongue that you can do.
100%.
It's quite a bad one, but is it a minuscule slip of the tongue you can do? And then we get down to the game. It's an emotional game. We go for double overtime, down by 17 points. We come back. They miss free throws. Jaden Ray, 90% free throw shooter. He's the number 1 free throw shooter in the league. 3 free throws to win the game, 2 to tie, 1 to lose. He makes 2 of them.
And he misses the middle one, does he?
Yeah. Then we go into overtime. We have a chance to win the game with a pair of free throws, tie the game with 1. We go 1 for 2 in overtime. Let's go double overtime. Then finally, Owen McCormack hits that ridiculous 3 with 21 seconds to go. And if you haven't listened to it yet, listen to my commentary back on that, because when it was bang on 21.0 seconds to go in the double overtime, and straight in my head I was like, oh, McCormack with the 3 with 21 seconds to go. He's so solid out there. Did you pick up on that, Dan?
I did.
I would have loved it if you were like, with 21 seconds to go, tut, 21 seconds.
He said, instead of calling game, he'd say, Romeo done.
I mean, are we running this back a little bit? Because there are some plays I want to talk through.
Well, let me get to the end bit first, because not only, let's talk about the stuff that happened in the broadcast. We have a really emotional interview with Evan Walsh after the game, where he just gets so overwhelmed. First career triple-double. It's like a sign of all the hard work finally paying off. You know, you started your career in British basketball with Surrey and then Leicester, and you haven't been getting the minutes, and you go to Manchester, and slowly your performances are growing, and then now in Bristol, where he's playing the best basketball life of his career, and then capping it off, going into the playoffs in that season with a triple-double, that can be really emotional. So I loved that interview, and I spoke to him after the game, and I said, look, are you comfortable with us putting that out? Because obviously, like I said to him, are you comfortable with us posting that on social? And he's like, yeah, go for it, because it's a vulnerable moment for him, but really special for him in his career. Then straight away, Coach Kapoulas comes in, and he does his interview, and he drops an F-bomb.
Did he actually?
He dropped an F-bomb
on a live
broadcast on DAZN, and I had to apologise after the interview.
Is that the first time?
Isn't that right, Dan?
Yeah, he did. But it was in context as well. He didn't just, it wasn't a bad one. I
think Gareth asked the question, like, what changed in the fourth quarter? And he's like, we made some effing shots.
and if you're going to boil it down to one sentence, that is what happened in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was. Let's run this game back to the start then, shall we? Because this was a crazy, crazy game. 87-86 was the final score after 2 periods of overtime, and the win secured a 7th place finish for Flyers going into the playoffs. It was a monumental second half effort. They fought back from 17 points down. It was crazy. But let's start at the very beginning of this game, right? Surrey go out to this early lead. Flyers, we cannot buy a bucket from the 3-point line.
What was the score? We had 9 points in that first quarter, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 9 points to 23. It's only the 3rd time this season we've had a single-digit scoring first quarter. That was the 2nd time this week we've had a single-digit.
Can I guess the first time?
This week?
No. The first time of the whole season. There was another time. Yeah. I think it was London Lions away in November or something.
I think. Don't quote me on it.
I think that's right.
But the 2nd time was Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, when we went to Newcastle away.
Yeah.
And then obviously in the same week we had a 9-point first quarter against Surrey. So everyone's going into the game. It's a big game. The momentum's there.
I think it must be the 4th time. There wasn't a time that Owen McCormack hit a buzzer beater 3 to get it to 7 points.
I think the London Lions game, that home game, is the one you're on about.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, who knows?
I don't
Whatever,
think it
doesn't
was
matter.
away. I think it was home. Anyway, it was a low-scoring first quarter for Flyers, and everyone's going into the game. The fans, the atmosphere is there, and then suddenly you feel it sort of drop down at the end of the first. Big hole, 23 points to 9. No sign from Surrey that they're going to ease off the gas. It's a bit of a brighter second quarter for the Flyers. Robinson and Lewis put their fingerprints on the game. And it was 1 for 14 from the 3-point line for Flyers in the first half. So despite getting some points inside, we just couldn't buy a 3. All of our points were coming in the paint. It was 11-point difference at halftime. Flyers down 11 at the half.
Hey, good going.
Which all things considered, to still be within touching distance at the halftime break is a good effort. The third quarter was tough for Flyers. Evan Walsh started to turn the screw, sort of making dimes and grabbing rebounds and stuff, obviously on his way to his first career triple-double. Surrey looked good for their lead. Jaden Ray, by the way, who I thought was phenomenal in this game. He had a 25-point game the night before against Manchester. came into this game, just picked up where he left off. Mid-range jumpers, ridiculous threes they were knocking down. There was a 3 in the first half, I think, with I think it was Gooden with a little step back round the back dribble and splash.
Like that.
It was crazy.
You can't hate that. That's cool, isn't it?
It was good. And then Flyers trouble as many as 17. It was 14 points going into the fourth quarter. But then all of a sudden, and this is the shift in mentality in the team where you know that, like, not your season, but you know that, like, your playoff opponents are on the line and who you want to face in the playoffs. And suddenly, Flyers just turn it on. Dropping threes all over the place. There was threes from Owen McCormack. There were threes from Evan Walsh. Threes from Kendall Lewis. We couldn't miss.
Demond had one as well.
Demond Robinson hit one on top of the 3-point line. Owen McCormack had 3 straight baseline threes. And when you're hot, you're hot. And
Man,
he was on fire.
Red hot, that man.
was.
Honestly, that was the bit where I was mainly watching, and I was like, what is going on right now? This is mental.
Yeah. Then Demond Robinson gives Flyers their first lead since the first quarter in the fourth period, up by 1.
With that 3.
No, it was it might have been a 3 actually. Can't remember.
I think it was, yeah.
So Demond Robinson gives Flyers their first lead of the game with maybe a minute or so to go in the fourth. And then Jalen Ray, and then this is when we get to Jalen Ray, who comes in as a 90% free throw shooter, going 2 for 3 to force overtime. In this game also, by the way, the fans were excellent when they were going to the foul line, because not only did they miss some crucial free throws, but also everyone went home with I think it was a £15 steak voucher courtesy of Cow and Sow.
Yeah, but
Because I think we ran an offer, didn't we, where if the opposing team misses back-to-back free throws for any time throughout the game, everyone gets a voucher. So you just hear everyone going, "We want steak, we want steak."
Sorry to all the vegans and vegetarians in the room.
Yeah, I was going to try and think of a joke about missed steak, like missed free throws.
You could have done one. That
Yeah.
would have been all right. We would have groaned, wouldn't we, Dan?
Yeah, it's terrible, but there's something there. There's something there to work with.
It's quite rare I come up with those sort of jokes. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well done.
Well done. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
That was all very medium by us.
So Surrey made some mistakes from the line to send Flyers fans home with steaks, which was great. And then we get to overtime. Should we get to it?
What you're talking about is a bit flat pan. That's the thing. Joel, can we quickly talk about, I don't know if we're allowed to, the foul to go for the three throws at the end of regular time.
It was Kendall Lewis. So what happens here is because Jalen Ray is shooting the ball so well, Flyers put Kendall Lewis on him, who's a longer defender. So what Surrey then do is they just pull it back a bit and give Jalen Ray some space, so he's running into the 3 rather than just catching it. You can't shoot it over him if you're standing still over Kendall Lewis. So they give him a head of steam. And because he's got quicker foot speed than Kendall Lewis, he kind of goes past him, but not quite past him. Kendall Lewis has got his arms up, and then you see it on the replay. We could not see the contact here in this play, but there must have been something the officials saw that we couldn't, because I think he had like his hip. And it's one of those ones where your arms might be out, but his hips are like leaning forwards.
Mate, I watched this 3 times. I'm telling you right now, and I'm biased as they come when it comes to Bristol Flyers. It's actually more like his chest hits his shoulder, and I think he does lean into it slightly. I think it's a foul, personally.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if you're the player and you don't get it called as a foul, are you the more annoyed one? Or if you're the defender and it gets called as a foul, are you more which one are you more annoyed at?
The trouble is the percentages of him making it in that like rushed moment are pretty low, probably anyway. So it's a tough one to take, isn't it? But they missed a free throw. So we're all good.
Yeah, they went 2 for 3, tied at 67 points apiece. OT we go. Overtime belonged to Evan Walsh. His driving to the basket, getting to the foul line, knocking down a huge number of free throws, hitting threes. He actually notched his triple-double in the first period of overtime off of, I think it was like a 3, it bobbled out. It was crazy. So he secured a triple-double in that period. And then, I can't remember who it was for Flyers that went 1 for 2 from the line.
Before that, was it the end of the first period where Demond nearly had that unbelievable alley-oop?
No, it was late in the game.
Was that late in the game?
It was on the right-hand side, so for us.
That was... Okay, we'll come to that then, because
I think that was the rebound, that missed dunk that Evan got his triple-double on.
Honestly, that would have been off the chain if
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got that. That was unbelievable. So
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, I think it was Evan that missed 1 from 2.
Yeah, so I think you're right. And then we get to overtime and double overtime, and Flyers led by as many as 4 heading into the final few seconds. We're looking good for it. Evan Walsh with the turnover. He gets a turn. He turns the ball over to Mervyn James, who goes coast to coast, and we're all heart in your mouth moment. And then the Flyers go the other end. Evan goes the other end, and then gets fouled. So he immediately recovers for his error, hits the free throws. And then at the end of the game, even when we're up by 4 in the last few possessions, I think Owen McCormack hits free throws to put us up by 4.
Free throws or 2?
2.
Yeah.
Jalen Ray hits a 3 to make it a 1-point game, like literally almost at the buzzer. Just when you think, it's going to be good, he hits a bonkers 3. We get it in bounds, and they try and foul Owen again, and the foul is called like after the buzzer, and it expires, and we run out with the win. What a game.
I just love that's. You know what I mean when in today's day and age we want to try and control everything. Sport you can't control, and it makes you feel things good and bad. And this was an unbelievable ending, Jolie. You must have felt as excited at that time you Bristol City scored in the last minute, Dan, or not quite?
It did feel like that. Honestly, the noise in our truck was loud because we weren't expecting it to be this way, but the end was incredible.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a really good showing by Surrey as well. A second game of them in the back-to-back. They put a lot of their new young players out there on the court. Some of them who I thought were fantastic, like Shulavinskas this season's been great.
Unreal.
Let's talk you through the top scorers then from this game. Flyers, they were led by 21 points apiece from Damon Robinson and Kendall Lewis. Damon Robinson had a double-double, 21 points and 13 rebounds. Obviously, the whole story was around Evan Walsh with a triple-double, right? But Damon Robinson with 21 points and 13 rebounds. Any other game, that's MVP.
100%.
That was huge. He had an index of 25, Damon Robinson. Evan Walsh had an index of 29 for his 18-point, 12 rebound, 11 assist triple-double. First double-double for him in his career. First triple-double for him in his career. And it was the first triple-double of the SLB season.
I had to text the group, didn't I, when I saw that come out on the Instagram? Because I was like, look, triple doubles are hard. They are hard. Like we see some of the guys in the NBA do some ridiculous things. I know their games are longer, so they're more likely to happen. But flip me, like that felt weird that was the first one of the whole season, and it would have been the first time in the whole of like top flight. I think top flight that had never been.
It's the first. So the last season where there was no player that had triple double was the 2014-15 season.
Oh right, so 9 years or 10 years or so.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
It's mad.
And I had to go to double overtime to get it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So Damon Robinson, 21 points, 13 rebounds. Kendall Lewis, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Evan Walsh, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. Owen McCormack on the bench, 15 points, 8 rebounds. And some massive threes in that second half.
So
3 straight.
I had a little look online.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know in any sort of like professional basketball, it doesn't have to be professional, but like high level, could be college or whatever, what is the most amount of overtimes there have ever been, like as in on record?
So I can tell you the Flyers one.
I know I'm talking worldwide here.
Go on.
I know the answer. What do you reckon? Dan, what do you think?
Most overtimes. 9?
9? 9?
No, it's not 9. Joel?
7.
It's 7.
Is it?
7.
Wow.
It was in 1981, Bradley versus Cincinnati men's basketball game, and it was 7, which is basically a whole like 35 extra
my
minutes or whatever.
God,
Isn't that crazy?
That's like 2 extra games. That's like an extra game onto your schedule. I
love that.
Oh, that's mad. So that's the roundup of the Surrey 89ers game. It means Flyers finish 7th and obviously have Leicester Riders in the playoffs. Got to get to other bit of news. Evan Walsh was named in the Super League Basketball Team of the Week for his triple-double, so congratulations to Evan. It means that Flyers have Leicester Riders, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, the 2 dates for the games are confirmed. This Friday is the first leg of the quarterfinal, 7:30 p.m. tip-off at the SGS College Arena. You can get your tickets right now at bristolflyers.co.uk. They're selling like hotcakes. The second leg is on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, 1:30 p.m. tip-off at the Matty Oli Arena. We'd love to see as many of you as you can make the trip to Leicester to make some noise for the boys. Right, other news to get to. Reminder, I've written it down here. I've just written 40% off jerseys this Friday. I've got to remind fans that the remaining stock is going to get moved from Ashton Gate up to SGSY's campus. So all the remaining jerseys this season, there's only a few left in certain sizes. They haven't got every size available, but it's 40% off all remaining jerseys. It's a fire sale. Everything's gotta go. So get your hands.
If it doesn't go, we'll set it on fire.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But we've got to get rid of it all. So get your hands on a jersey for 40% off this Friday at the Game Day merch stand only if you got tickets to Friday's playoff quarter final. Right, other news to get to. We've got to give a massive congratulations to our Bristol Flyers under-14 side, who this weekend are competing in the junior Final Fours. Huge achievement for them. Incredible.
That is actually amazing. Where is it based?
They're based in Manchester, up at the National Basketball Performance Centre. It's going to be 2 days of intense action because all the junior Final Fours will take place across the weekend. The Bristol Flyers are taking on London Stars at 2 p.m. on Saturday, May 3rd. You can get tickets. You can go up there and get tickets to support our stars of the future. I think they start from £5. They go up to £10. You get to watch a full day of action. And best of luck from everyone at the Bristol Flyers podcast. Bring it home, boys. We want to see it. Hopefully next week's show, we'll be talking about them bringing it home.
Love that.
It's coming home, Sam.
It's coming home. It's coming. Under 14s basketball.
Under 14s Final Four national titles coming home.
That's got a ring to it, actually. I like that.
Yeah, I think it works, mate. I think it works. Right, other news to get to. Speaking of junior Flyers, applications are now open for you to register your interest for Flyers trials for the 25-26 season. Now, this is not only all of our junior age groups from boys and girls from under 12s, 14s, 16s and 18s. It also is for our men's second team and our women's first team. So if you fancy yourself as a Bristol Flyers player, maybe you're moving to Bristol from another city, you want to play basketball at the highest level in the country, you can register your interest right now over at the Bristol Flyers website. If you go on the website, there is a web story saying register your interest for Flyers Open Trials. In there is a form to fill out. Aspiring players can showcase their skills in front of the Flyers coaching staff, which is set to be hosted this summer. The trials take place later in the summer. The date is still TBC. As we say, senior men's men's second team, women's first team, and all the junior age groups from under 12s up to under 18s. And if you do have more questions about Flyers junior trials, you can reach out to Chris Bourne at sgscol.ac.uk. Fancy yourself playing for Flyers 2 next year, Sam?
I mean, I'd love to. I just can't. I'm not. To be fair, I'm not gonna. This is not linked to that, obviously. But we have just been crowned without the crown yet, because we've still got one game left. Weber Division 1 champions.
Oh, congratulations. And who is we? So your Bristol Spartans
Bristol
team.
Spartans team. Yeah, me, Steve Devereux, a few other lads. Like, we've all been nominated. It's happened, Jolie. We won.
Your local league team.
My local league, there you go. We've got cup final as well next Sunday. So we could do the double this year, Jolie, which I think would be legit.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll let you know.
That's a really good scene there. We should do some content around Weber basketball, I feel, because there's a lot of communities around Bristol that all get together weekly and play basketball at local league level, and we should probably do some a podcast episode around it, I feel.
All right, that's a good idea. We'll chat about it.
Add it to the list. We'll talk about it maybe for next season's. You can take it to a Weber game with you if you want.
In our next extensive planning meeting that we'll have off air, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to have a planning meeting as well. Actually, we've got to talk about end of season podcast. Because it's coming, the end of the season is right around the corner, and in previous years we've done this sort of live audience thing. We need to think about what we want to do. We've also got Supporters Club end of season awards coming up that we need to discuss as well.
About that.
So there's a few little bits and bobs like that we need to discuss in a little off-air meeting.
Okay, cool, got you.
Final bit of news I've got to get to first, though, and that is that the Bristol Flyers are running an online auction for a series of rare game-worn, loyal-to-the-game jerseys in aid of our Flyers community programs. Essentially, every single player's red, game-worn, loyal-to-the-game jersey that was worn by the men's first team from September to December of this season is being put up on auction. It's signed, personally signed by every player that had worn it. It's game worn by that specific player. It's 12 of them in total. They're worn by the first team squad. They're up for auction. They're signed. They're game worn. The jerseys start from £50, and fans can bid on as many jerseys as they wish. The auction is being run by the Flyers community. It's open now until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, May 21st. All proceeds from the online auction will be donated to the incredible work being done by our Flyers community team, helping deliver life-changing basketball programs within the communities of Greater Bristol. I've had a look at the auction so far. How much do you reckon has been made so far since the auction has been live?
£300.
Dan?
£400.
I can tell you that as of Wednesday, 30th of April, 2025, the current total is currently £684.
To be fair, I bid £600 on Owen McCormack's jersey, so he's my favourite player. So
I love it, mate. I would get one. It'd be good.
£600 worth?
No, I won't pay £600 worth. But yeah, they set a target of £1,000. I think we can smash this target. We've still got weeks to go until the auctions end. You can go on there right now. You can bid for jerseys. Corey Samuels right now, for example, is at £150.
Ooh.
What else have we got here? There's a Kendall Lewis one that currently has a top bid of £199. So you can go on there, you can find them all. There's players, every single player in our first team squad. You can go on there, you can bid. The link's at bristolflyers.co.uk. Go check it out. Help us raise some vital money for our Flyers community programs. And that's it for this week's news.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Great pod, great chat. We haven't really spoken about the other playoff matchups, but there's other podcasts you can listen to that talk about the other playoff matchups. This is the Bristol Flyers podcast, and if you're not a Bristol Flyers fan, what are you listening to this podcast for?
Rude, Jolie. You're very welcome here, but we will be biased.
Yes,
we will be biased
yes,
towards the Flyers.
Yes, this is a Flyers podcast. But thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Flyers podcast. Sam, as we mentioned, we have to discuss plans as our season rolls to a close because we've probably only got a couple more episodes of the podcast now until we take our summer sabbatical.
Summer sabbatical, as the French would say.
Yeah, now I'm off to Glastonbury on the farm.
Did you get a ticket? You did, didn't you?
Yeah,
I know your friends got him in as well in the end, didn't they?
They did.
Very nice.
So that's the plan for the summer. Quick reminder, if you enjoy the Bristol Flyers podcast, leave us a rating and a review by your usual podcast provider. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe. It helps us move up the podcast charts. Sam, anything else you want to add before we wrap up this week's episode of the show?
I've enjoyed this season, Jolie. It's felt like these last few months have been a lot of games, but I've enjoyed it. It's been all right.
Me too. This could be the last podcast where we actually have a game upcoming this weekend. If we win our games this weekend and go to the next round, we could have another week's episode where we preview the semi-finals. So we don't know what's happening next week on the podcast, but whatever happens over the course of the weekend, we just want to thank all our fans for turning up. And coming to Flyers games, whether you're watching online on DAZN, whether you are in the crowd at SGSY's campus, if you're a season ticket holder, whether you've been to one game this season, we really, really appreciate your support. And if you listen to the podcast as well and you're helping build this Flyers community that we have with our listeners and viewers, thank you so, so, so much from everyone here. But until next week, we will still have a podcast next week.
Yeah.
The podcast will continue next week, probably one or two more. So we're not finishing it just yet, but we are on the home stretch. So until next week, from Joel, Sam, and producer Dan, we'll see you next time right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast, powered by Matchday Live.